Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight announcement out of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So per ESPN's Brett Okamoto, the UFC is finalizing a flyweight bout between Katlyn Chookagian and Viviane Araujo. Should make for an interesting bout, and this is targeted for a UFC fight night scheduled for May 15th, a Saturday night. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats on this one. Blonde fighter Chookagian coming in at 15-4. Araujo, little less experience, coming in at 10-2. Now Chookagian has, mixed wins and losses in her last few fights. She's most recently coming off a unanimous decision win over Cynthia Calvillo a few months ago. Preceded that, however, by a TKO loss to Jessica Andrade. Araujo riding 2 straight wins into this. First over Montana De La Rosa, and then a decision over Roxanne Modafferi just about a month ago. Looking at the age here, Araujo surprisingly is the elder fighter, 34-32 for Chookagian. Chookagian is going to have a nice height advantage here, 5 feet 9 inch, 175 centimeters to Araujo's 5 feet 4 inch, 163 centimeters. However, and this is interesting, the reach, according to Topology, is identical at 68 inches, 173 centimeters. That means Araujo has some wide shoulders and some long, lanky arms. So, big height advantage for Chookagian, but identical reach, which is just very interesting. So here you have two, primarily strikers. Chookagian is more of a distance striker, likes to fight from the distance, stay on the outside, score points from there. Araujo likes to get in and get dirty and throw some heavy hands and land some big bombs. Before I made this video, I watched, some of their recent fights. Now, Araujo, these two have a common opponent in Jessica Eye, and that they both lost to Eye. However, watching the Araujo versus Eye fight, I see a lot of weaknesses in Araujo's game that I think could make for a fairly easy night for Chookagian. One of the things is that Araujo likes to throw looping punches and just, has a weakness against straight punches. She also has a weakness against low kicks, which isn't going to be good against a lengthy kickboxer like Chookagian. But the straight punches is going to be, I think, the biggest factor, because Chookagian, she's all about throwing straight punches right down the pipe. Now, someone brought up, and I'm not sure I totally agree with this, Chookagian kind of, has a weakness against, more explosive punchers, which is basically what Araujo likes to do. Likes to land big, explosive punches. But I think striking-wise, you got to give the advantage to Chookagian. And another weakness I've noticed about Araujo is her cardio. I mean, even in fights when is clearly winning, she tends to gas out. And when she gasses hard. I mean, her most recent fight against Roxanne Modafferi, she gassed hard in that fight. And by the third round, it was so bad that Roxy started to, really tee off on Araujo. So Araujo is going to really need to do her road work leading up to this fight if she can't get an early finish. And the thing is, that's what Araujo is all about. She's always trying to land those big punches and go for that early finish. But for the most part, I mean, she doesn't have a single finish other than her UFC debut. And that was almost 2 years ago, and against Toledo Bernardo. And Chookagian is not a flat-footed fighter like Bernardo is. So my early pick, just going by a little bit of video study on these two, my early pick's going to be Chookagian. Now I'll go into a more in-depth study, leading up to this fight as it gets closer. But for now, I'm going to have to go with Katlyn Chookagian. I just think she'll be able to keep Araujo at the end of her strikes and just pick her apart from the outside. Anyway, those are my initial thoughts on this fight announcement. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it as well. Help the channel grow. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.